There's been some controversy about an Islamic center that's being built in New York City near the site of Ground Zero. There's some opponents, including people like Newt Gingrich and Sarah Palin, and many Americans who claim that the center is, or the Ground Zero Mosque, as they call it, is an affront to America, or an insult to the victims of 9/11, or is insensitive. Some have even claimed that it is a victory flag being waved by Islamic extremists. These people are wrong in many ways, and starting with some of the basic facts. It's not a mosque, it's a cultural center. It doesn't really matter if it was a mosque at all. It has absolutely nothing to do with Islamic extremists. The people who are building it are from the community. They suffered just like everybody else in the community on 9/11. The bigger picture that seems to be missed is that we are not at war with Islam. Islam is not our enemy. Some of the smaller points are missed as well, like the fact that it's not in Ground Zero. It's near Ground Zero. Some of the people criticizing it have never even been to New York City. Those who have know that Ground Zero is a huge area. It's many, many blocks, surrounded by dozens of other blocks. And within that area, on the north end, you have a street, a city block, another street, a city block. And on the third block, Park Street, is the proposed location of this Islamic center. 3 blocks is a huge area in New York City. A 3-block radius would cover practically half of lower Manhattan. To say that that's hallowed ground is ridiculous. The Burlington Coat Factory was not considered hallowed ground or considered a historical site until Muslims decided to build something there. That 3-block radius around Ground Zero already includes 5 or 6 churches. It already includes another mosque, as well as McDonald's and Starbucks and dentists and doctors and investment firms and gyms and many, many other things. On the south end, there's a World Trade Center Memorial Visitor Center at site. 2 blocks from that is the Pussycat Lounge, a strip club. Governor Palin, do you think that the Pussycat Lounge strip club is a sacred site? Do you think that the Pussycat Lounge strip club is hallowed ground? Speaker Gingrich, do you think that McDonald's is hallowed ground? How about New York Dolls Gentlemen's Club, 1 block from the proposed site of the Islamic Center? No, I don't think you do think that it is hallowed ground. No one in their right mind would. I also don't think that most of the opponents thought that the Burlington Coat Factory was a historical site. They wouldn't have minded if one of the strip clubs or McDonald's or one of the existing 5 or 6 churches wanted to expand. They would have never said a word. The reason they said something is because they don't like Muslims. They don't like Muslims and they don't like Islam. And that is the definition of bigotry. Plain and simple. Let's call it how it is. You can't say, I'm not a bigot, I just don't like Muslims, any more than you could say, I'm for freedom of religion, I just don't like Islam. It doesn't work that way. It's bigotry, plain and simple. Newt Gingrich is a bigot. Sarah Palin is a bigot. Rudy Giuliani is a bigot. Let's call it how it is. They're not only bigots, it's extremely un-American. This country was founded on freedoms, freedom of speech and freedom of religion being the #1 freedom. This anti-Muslim hysteria is fueled by ignorance and misinformation, lack of knowledge. Some of the people who are fueling it actually mean well. They really do genuinely believe that Muslims are some kind of threat to America. Even though America is one of the top 10 largest Muslim countries in terms of population of Muslims. Our own citizens, millions of Muslims, have committed virtually no terrorist actions. People should be judged by what they do, not by what some isolated members of their religion does. We were not attacked by Muslims on 9/11. We were attacked by people who happen to be Muslim. They also happen to have non-white skin. Maybe Sarah Palin and Rudy Giuliani would like to have a whites-only zone because it would be insensitive to allow brown people into the area near 9/11 because brown people attacked us. It's ridiculous. Muslims didn't attack us. Some people who were Muslim attacked us. Muslims don't commit terrorism any more than Protestants or Catholics, Chechens, the people in the Basque region of Spain, India, China, Latin America, even Americans. Slobodan Milosevic, a Christian, killed 100,000 people. And he did it in the name of religion. I've never heard Rudy Giuliani apologize for the actions of Slobodan Milosevic. I've never even heard him condemn these actions. Yet he asks the imam and criticizes the imam in charge of the project for not condemning 9/11 enough. Why should he? Rudy Giuliani's opinion is that he should because he's Muslim, and that is bigotry. Holding somebody to a different standard because of their religion, especially because their religion happens to be the same as someone else who attacked us, is bigotry, plain and simple. Rudy Giuliani is a bigot. He shouldn't have to apologize for the actions of Slobodan Milosevic because he's a Christian. And Muslims should not have to apologize for the actions that occurred on 9/11. They shouldn't have to apologize, they shouldn't have to condemn it. But they have. They actually have. The Imam has, and thousands of others have. Virtually every Muslim government, Muslim institution, major mosque, major organization universally condemned the actions of 9/11. And they condemn terrorism. This anti-Muslim hysteria is fueled by people who hate Muslims and give information to good people who then repeat it. Those same passages from the Quran taken out of context. These stories about Muslims beating women or stoning children to death. These are ridiculous stories. They're not representative of Islam any more than the LA gangs, who, by the way, killed more people in the last 15 years than all the terrorists anywhere in America, just in LA County. Those LA gangs are not representative of America. And if they were of a certain religion, they wouldn't be representative of that religion. And no sensible American would criticize other members of that religion for the actions of those LA gang members. No sensible American should criticize Muslims for what occurred on 9/11. They don't need to apologize. They don't even need to condemn it. People should be held responsible for the actions that they do and the words that they say. And it's time that we hold ignorance responsible. And it's time that we hold bigots responsible. Because bigotry and ignorance and lack of understanding is causing deaths right now. It's part of the reason that we have wars, and it's part of the reason that we have conflict in this world. So instead of giving fuel to the bigots, let's reach out and build bridges. Let's build understanding. Let's create discussion and meaningful progress. The good thing is that America is the very best place on earth to do this because of our freedoms, because of our freedom of religion, and because of our freedom of speech. It's the best place to do this, it's the best place to have this conversation, and it's the best place to move forward peacefully. We can do it now. I support freedom of religion and free speech and the First Amendment. Do you?